So this is, I think it's the point in the match where he does start to make some small adjustments. I think I decided to lead here. I think it's good. I think if he has nothing, he's just going to give up a ton. I don't hate check raising either. Check raise might be slightly better just because I think he's going to bet this board a lot, and but I think like when we lead here, he can call when he has like his queen 5 with the 5 of clubs, but he'll fold that if we check raise. But given his general passivity on the whole, I think leading is fine and certainly profitable. Like I said, I want to be 3-betting a lot of junk here. I think this plays better as a 3-bet than as a call, really. Get the perfect flop. And for 20 BB, I think I could 3-bet small here to induce. Because I think I probably played a few hundred games with him before, not a few hundred, maybe a few dozen, and I think he did have like a decent 4-bet stat, so maybe 3-bet into induce there would be okay. It's kind of a strange dichotomy between his 4-bet was high, but like his fold to 3-bet was extremely high as well. So that must mean that like he just never flats really, and then he's just 4-better folding. So we see him fight back here a little bit. I mean, he probably just had a hand, but still need to take note of it. Queen 8 at 14 BB-ish, he's still raising like 70%, so we're just printing money by shoving there, especially when he's just not calling that wide. I think it's close between checking back and betting here. I think we give value from a 6 or like a 7-8 or 7-9, 8-9 that wants to float there. Not a good flop. I kind of got the sense towards the end of this match that he was trying to like hold on to the lead because I think he was up a couple games, so he just kind of like even knitted it up more than he normally does. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but I think Queen 4 is close to a ship there. I don't really like flat. I don't think it plays well at this stacked up, like 13-inch big blinds effective. Let's actually look at it in ICMizer. Let's pull it up here. Queen 4. Sorry guys, just 1 second. Okay, so let's just pause it there, and I'm going to pause the video. So we can see here that if we put his min raising range at about 60%, which I said at 10 it was 50, so it's probably somewhere in between there. And he doesn't really have a limping game at all, so we don't really have to account for that. 60%, and then he's calling what I would consider like a normal range. I think it's probably a bit on the tight side. For like a lot of people, I think probably are calling more like 30-ish% there or something, 35. And it's just about break even. I mean, we can shove a ton of suited stuff here and whatever, but I don't think it's quite good enough, so. I also don't think it's good enough for a flat, like I said. I think it's probably just a muck there. He doesn't limp, like his limp is like less than 10%, so I'm actually like wasn't exactly fist pumping about shoving the jack queen there. But I mean, I just think it's too strong to do anything else. I mean, obviously he is gonna be betting or be limping strong there with such a low limping percentage, but I probably should just ship this thing. This is getting a little too fancy. Interesting spot on the turn here. This might strike a lot of people as extremely nitty, but I think this is just the I was thinking I was gonna fold like almost instantly. I think he almost always has a better hand, whether it's Queen X or some nutted hand like a 9-10, 9-5, 5-4. I think the only hand we're ahead of really is like a 10-5 of diamonds or something. So if like the range we're against is like Queen X or better, and then like flush draws with an overcard to our 8, I don't think it's a great spot, and I just never seen him do this, and I just kind of view it as the first time he did it, especially with how the texture changed with the 8 on the turn. I just don't think we're ever good. I think a case could maybe be made for peeling one off, but I feel like I just kind of got that sense, you know, sometimes you just gotta trust your intuition, and I just kind of felt like he was gonna like jam every river, so like even if I hit an ace on the river, I honestly wouldn't feel like that great about my hand, so. It's kind of unheard of to do that in a hyper, but I think it was the right play there. A little more than 11 big blinds. King 2 is just best served as a push. You want to be careful when you're playing against better players, you know, not just to have like your King 2s and your like 4-5 suiteds and stuff in your range, because then it's going to be very easy to play against you, and they can construct a range that'll just kind of destroy you. You know, you want to have your ace X's, you want to have pairs, you want to shove strong hands occasionally against better players just to stay balanced. On here, decided to float when he bet really small on the flop, and I think when he checks the turn, he like never has an ace, probably doesn't have a 10. The only hand I'm worried about is that he turned to 7, now he's just like pot controlling. But I decided to bet here just to like get him to like fold a 2 or king highs and queen high chops. So I mean, I think it's debatable because we do have some modicum of showdown value, but I think he has just enough hands in his range where it makes it worth betting here on the river. And it doesn't really look like anything missed too much. I mean, I guess some like 4-5s and stuff like that, but I mean, I think it's a reasonable story that we're telling here. I mean, the flush got there, the 10 paired. I don't know. I think we're getting a good price there, and based on the speed that he folded it, I think it confirms my decision a little bit. So 9-4 suited for 7-ish big blinds isn't that great of a shove, but again, like I said, I think he's calling tighter than most people. So that being said, like at this stack depth, like I said before, is that he loosens up quite a bit. So maybe a 10 big blinds, it's an applicable argument, but at 8-ish or 7-ish big blinds, whatever that was, maybe not.